people stay broke, stressed, and trapped in a cycle of debt, even when they earn a lot of money, because they never healed their toxic relationship with money. They think wealth comes from being smarter, working harder, or knowing the right investment trick, but that is not it. What they really want is clarity and a simple, proven roadmap they can actually follow so they can stop self-sabotaging and finally feeling the freedom of having enough money. So in this video, I will share with you the exact framework that I used to go from a 35-year-old broke, unemployed, and drowning in student loan debt to building a 7-figure net worth in just 6 years without hustling myself to the ground and without a finance degree or having any prior financial background. Listen very closely. I am not sharing with you what I learned from a degree plan or what I read in a textbook, but I am sharing the framework that is based on my real life hands-on experience that I actually implemented that moved me from zero to financial freedom in a shorter time. So if you actually take in what I'm about to share with you, you will understand how money works more than 90% of the people right now. Here is the hard truth. There are a lot of people that have enough money to have freedom over their time and freedom over their money because they learned a few very simple rules about money and they actually practice them. Everyone is not struggling like social media says, like everyone is struggling. No, everyone is not struggling. There are people that learned the simple rules about how money works and they implemented them and had the result. You don't need a finance degree to get rich. In fact, a lot of people with finance degrees are broke, living paycheck to paycheck and stuck in debt because it's not about what you know. It's about what you do with what you know. Financial freedom does not care about how smart you are. It only works when you take actions. These are simple rules that I personally applied that helped me to stop self-sabotage and start building wealth. Number one, this one mindset shift changed everything for me. Here is what no one tells you. Your relationship with money matters way more than what you know about money. You can have all the knowledge in the world. You can read every finance book, have a high IQ, and still end up broke. And that's happening right now with a lot of people that graduated college. A lot of them are still stuck in student loan debt, still stuck in consumer debt, living paycheck to paycheck, and still broke. Meanwhile, there is someone with no formal education who just behaves very differently with money and is quietly building wealth. Why? Because money is not about how smart you are. It is about how you behave with it. One of my favorite all-time books about money, The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. This book says it all. Financial success is not a hard science. It is a soft skill. How you behave with money is more important than what you know about money. And this hit me very hard when I read this book. I've read this book probably like 5 times. When I read this book and I saw that, it really opened my eyes because years ago, I was the one self-sabotaging my own financial future. I knew about investment just like a lot of people do. I knew about savings and investment and all kinds of good things that help your money grow. I knew about all of that, but I was busy giving my money away in exchange for stuff at the store instead of building for my future because I was so scared to invest. I was scared to spend money on anything that would actually grow me, to spend money to elevate my skills, to be able to earn more income. I thought that keeping money in the bank and staring at the numbers on the bank app was me being responsible with my money. But really, I did that because I was just operating from fear. And until I healed my relationship with money, until I healed that fear and that scarcity mindset, nothing changed. So let me ask you this question. What does money really mean to you? Be honest with yourself, because this is how you begin to heal. This is what I did when I read this book the first time, and it opened my eyes. I said, what does money really mean? When you say money, when money comes to your mind, or in your family, when you guys are talking and then money comes into the conversation, what emotion does it invoke? Is it the unpaid utility bills? Is it the credit card debt piling up? When you think about money, what comes up? Is it the fear of not having enough? Is it the shame of feeling behind, or the guilt? Or is it constant? Do you feel constant stress? Is it the anxiety of opening your bank app? Take a piece of paper or go to the comment section and write down what comes to your mind, because this is very important, because the way you feel about it determines what you do with it. That's why most people just spend as soon as they receive any extra money. Here is what I noticed. If you see money as a tool, as an asset, a pathway to freedom, a vehicle to your freedom, you will use it to buy back your time. You will use it to invest, to build legacy, to set up your children for success. You would stop chasing stuff and start building a life that actually feels good on the inside. If you see money as an asset, you see money as a tool, as a pathway, you will invest in assets that will work while you sleep. You will pay for experiences that feed your soul instead of getting things that impress strangers. However, if you see money as a source of stress or fear, you will hoard it, avoid it, waste it, trying to feel successful, trying to look successful on social media. When most people say, when I make 10K a month or 20K a month, my life will be better. But that is not true. Because if your relationship with 5K a month is full of fear, anxiety, and self-sabotage, that would follow you into the 10K a month, into the 20K a month. More income doesn't fix what's broken. It just makes it bigger. Number 2, stop letting social media move the goalposts for you. There's a client that came to me a few months ago. She is debt-free, runs a thriving business, and has a lot of investment. In my opinion, she is financially set. But she looked me dead in the eyes and said, I feel behind. And I was shocked. I'm like, behind who? Behind what? Because here is the truth. A lot of people have already reached financial freedom, but they do not realize it. They keep grinding and hustling because social media keeps moving the finish line. Some stranger posts their 4th vacation of the year, or shows off an expensive handbag, or a picture of them in the first class cabin on the plane, and suddenly you feel behind, you feel poor because you don't have those things. If you don't define your version of freedom, the world will define it for you, and they will never let you win because they will keep moving that finish line. So pause and ask yourself, what does financial freedom actually look like for me? Write it down and finish this sentence. I will know I am financially free when blank. What is that blank? What has to happen for you to know that you're financially free? Let's talk budgeting. Most people think that a budget is a punishment, like it's only for broke people or people who cannot afford things. That is a lie. A budget is not a restriction, it's clarity. It's like putting on glasses when your vision is blurry. Without it, you're bumping into overdraft fees, wondering where all your money went. But with a budget, you finally can see what is draining you. You actually know what matters. You can see where your money is going. Like, you can see all the path very clearly. It helps you to know what you want to prioritize. Do you want to prioritize travel? Cool. Do you want to invest more? Great. Do you want to pay off debt? Let's go. The budget helps you to see what you want, what you would want to do with your money, how to manage it, where to move it to, what to use it for, and what has been taking more of it. That's what budgeting does for you. It helps you to know where and what you want to do with your own money. You can't do any of it if you're financially blind. The next one is debt. Debt is heavy, not just financially, but emotionally. I remember so well when I had that student loans. I was always wondering how I would ever be able to pay off, because when you pay the minimum balance and then the interest kicks in, it looks like you haven't even started. The payoff amount is right back where you were last month. And I was always wondering, how would I ever be able to pay this off if I keep just paying the minimum balance? It affects how you sleep, how you show up. It affects everything about you when you have debt. So here is the thing. Credit card and loans are supposed to be tools for you to leverage. They're supposed to be leverage tools, but most people have turned those things into cages. You don't need a finance degree to fix that. We've made so many excuses to justify our sufferings. We have excuse for everything. And as long as we keep making these excuses, there is no way out. Because the moment you make an excuse, you just give away your power to break free. You just need honesty. Face your numbers. Most people are so focused on just paying off the minimum amount and not even worried about the payoff amount. They don't even know what that number is. Open all of your apps and write out every single number that you owe. And then you start with the smallest debt. Paying off the smallest debt, even if it's $500, builds momentum that would fire you up. And then it would build more momentum for you to use and pay off the other ones. Live below your means. Living below your means gives you a lot of leftover that you can use to build your savings, that you can use to build your emergency fund, that you can use to start investing. So build first and then you enjoy later. This is not the time to go splurge on things that are not very necessary. There is time for everything. There'll be a time you'll be able to afford everything you want, but you have to plant the seed now and water the seed and grow it first, and then you can enjoy the fruit. The next one is how to actually make more money. You've probably heard, follow your passion, follow your passion. It sounds cute until you're broke, poor, sick, with no money to go to the hospital, drowning in debt, watching eviction notice pile up, avoiding calls because that's collection. At that moment, you're no longer thinking about the passion that you were following. I always say, instead of following passion, follow the problem. What skill do you have? What problems can this skill solve? And who will pay for you to solve them? Money flows to usefulness, not just vibes. A lot of people might say, I don't have any skill. You do have a lot of skills, because even surviving on earth, living in this planet takes a lot of skills. So you do have skills. On the first column, write out all of your skills. And then the next column, you write out the problems that your skills can solve. So what problems have you already used your skills to solve for yourself? And then the third column, you write out who will pay. So who else has these problems that would gladly pay for you to solve it, pay for the solution? The bigger, the more painful the problem you solve, the more you can charge for it. They pay when they're scared, frustrated, or stuck. So if you have any skill that can solve any problem like that, you should chase that. Instead of chasing the passion, you should chase that. That is your roadmap. This template is your roadmap. When you make enough money, I always tell people, when you make enough money that you can now relax, you can now begin to chase your passion and use that as a side income, so that if it doesn't bring a lot of money, you're still fine with what you're currently doing. The next thing is surviving versus building. One day, whether by choice or not, you will stop working. When that day comes, will you be okay? Are you prepared for it? Or will you panic because you're not prepared for it? Wealth is not built by this one big move you do. It is built by consistent small moves over time. Every single dollar you work for should have a job. And that's what budgeting does for you. It helps you to assign a chore, a job, a task to that money. Some should go into investment, some should go into savings, some to giving, some should go into fun. For me, I automate everything so much that any money that is left over in my checking, any money that comes into my checking is strictly fun money, because I automated that it doesn't even get to my account. It doesn't even get to my checking account. Take advantage of the employer match with your 401k. Make sure you put in money in your Roth IRA, and then you just automate everything. Let some go into the stock, your brokerage account for stock, some go into your 401k, some going into your Roth, some going into your savings. Wealth building is all about the small, consistent moves that you make over time. The next one is generosity. Giving is very important. Most people think generosity comes after you're rich, but here is the truth. Abundance flows from giving, even if it's small, even if no one sees it when you're doing it. Because when you give, you are declaring, I have enough. You're declaring, I trust that there is more. It rewires your brain out of scarcity, and it doesn't always have to be money. You can give your time, you can give your attention, you can give your kindness. The goal is just to keep giving, to rewire your brain for more abundance. The last thing, this is so important. I take this very personally. Your children are always watching. They learn not by what you tell them, but by what they see you do. Are they watching you stress over every bill? Are they watching you hoard money? Are they watching you complain how greedy rich people are? Are they watching, or are they seeing you use money as a tool for freedom, as a tool for generosity, as a tool for peace, as a tool to bridge or to build a bridge that gives them advantage? You have the power to break the cycle that you grew up in. So here is what I want you to do. Define what freedom looks like for you. Be honest about your relationship with money and start taking small, consistent steps, even if it feels boring. And don't forget to grab the free tools that I have linked below to help you get started. If this spoke to you in any way, please drop a like, subscribe, and tell me in the comment section, what does financial freedom mean to you? See you in the next strategy session. Thank you for watching.